Spyro is coming back, but not on Switch. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy was just announced for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, dropping all three games remastered on September 21st, but no mention of Nintendo Switch, despite heavy rumors that it would be hitting the platform as well. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Gabe is here, and we're talking what happened to Spyro on Switch, and if we do think it will happen, because this is a bit of a bummer. People have been eagerly anticipating this announcement, and after the recent reveal that Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy will be hitting Nintendo Switch on July 10th, a lot of people seem to believe that either this would be a PlayStation 4 timed exclusive, or it would be hitting everything. In fact, it turns out it's not a timed exclusive. It's releasing on PS4 and Xbox One on September 21st, and nebulously, maybe, potentially, possibly, Switch at a later date.
Now, look, I think that Spyro 100% comes to Switch at some point. It's just a huge bummer to see that it's not happening at the exact same time that it is most other platforms. PC is another omission. Who knows if it comes to PC at all, but for consoles, since it's just not exclusive, as you mentioned, like, why isn't it happening on Switch right away?
Yeah, it's a bit of an oddity, and we've discussed for a number of months now, like, where is the sort of line in the sand where games start becoming day and date, and I thought we were reaching that point. Lego Incredibles is a recent announcement, and things like Dark Souls Remastered, and maybe once we hit E3, we thought, like, then that would kind of be that moment, and I guess it still could be because it's not E3, but this is as close to an E3 announcement, I think, as we're going to get until that June Expo. But yeah, it's strange. And Gabe, you mentioned, the omission of PC makes you think that they are going to be looking for almost a double dip scenario at a later date. Do you have any guess of how late that might be?
Yeah, I mean, but first to clear that up a little bit, that's a cynical side of me that says, hey, Activision, just maybe wants the most hardcore of core people to buy this game twice. If you really like Spyro and you really want to relive your memories and play on that nostalgia factor, get it on PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and then months down the line, I don't think it's a full calendar year the way it was with Crash, so that answers your question there a little bit, but I do think it's at least a months down the line, right? Because it just, for me, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have these coming like super close to each other, because if then that's the case, why not put them out? One of the other things, Zach, that I wanted to talk about is it's being developed by Toys for Bob, and I can't imagine that's a huge studio. I can't pretend to understand exactly how big they are, but they're busy doing something else on Switch right now. They're the ones porting over Crash Bandicoot. So maybe that's why this isn't happening quite yet. Maybe they got to get Crash out and then they go ahead and remake Spyro.
Which has been a theory I've seen posted around. The counter to that is, well, they're bringing it to Xbox One. They're bringing Crash to Xbox One and Spyro to Xbox One as well. So if there's no
different team, they have a Nintendo Switch
delay.
team. They have a everything else team. Because we do know that Nintendo Switch it's easy to develop for, but it's different than Xbox and PlayStation. So
which I guess that to me is the worst case scenario. If the fact of developing for Switch is what's holding this back, rather than some sort of business plan. I mean, I'm going to throw out there. I know you think it's impossible, Gabe, but there, to me, is the slight possibility that Nintendo wants to own this announcement for themselves. Now, we never have seen them specifically, be the bearers of big news after the fact. We've seen them say, like, hey, we want to be the ones to sort of announce Dark Souls Remastered. That's where it was first revealed. I still think there's a slight chance that we get a Spyro announcement at E3, or if there's any sort of direct between now and June. You're probably right that it's not day and date, but to me, it would make much more sense if this was like a month later or 2 months later, like still a 2018 release. I don't know. I would just feel very weird if this game is hitting two major platforms September 21st, and then it would almost feel like an artificial delay. And I know that's something we have, talked, and you guys in the comments have talked about like, is this a problem? Is it not a problem? For something like Spyro that is a brand new announcement, and we're not talking, bringing a major franchise like Call of Duty over, when's the right time, what's the right way, or, getting Wolfenstein 2 ready after, they just learned Switch development. It does kind of sting, in my opinion, that this is not, at least for what we know, hitting day and date.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other examples. Wolfenstein is something that comes to mind, of course. The Switch wasn't really, like, what it is now when the original Wolfenstein 2 came out on the other platforms, but that's coming like a whole bunch of months later. So I mean, there's examples of this happening, and it's very unfortunate. Spyro's one that I think I can wait for. I don't think I'm going to run out and get it on any other platform. I'll wait, because I do think it happens on Switch. I really do. It's just a matter of when, unfortunately.
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below how you feel about Spyro Reignited currently being absent on Switch. If you feel it's coming, when do you think it's coming, and what do you think the reason might be? Is it purely a development issue, like Gabe mentioned? Could it be that Nintendo wants to own the announcement for themselves, whether they keep the date close or push it farther, that they want to sort of be the messenger, as they often like to do? Either way, pretty cool that Spyro's coming back. Would be cooler if it was hitting Switch. The only other scenario is, like, is there a scenario where they wait to see how Crash does on Switch, or do you think it's guaranteed success and that doesn't factor in?
I don't know that Crash is guaranteed success on Switch. And what's your barometer for success? Like, if you're gonna think of like the millions that it sold on PlayStation 4, like that's unreasonable. I think, since a lot of people that wanted to play the game already played it somewhere else. So I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of tricky situations and scenarios. The simple solution would just be day-and-date releases, and hopefully we start getting more of that as we approach the second half of this second year of Nintendo Switch. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let us know your thoughts and your theories in the comments down below. Until that time, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from Switch and Spyro, hopefully eventually combining those two together. Follow us on Twitter and Discord, links in the description below. And for myself and Gabe, have a fantastic day. Switch Force out.